So, can you tell me your name and your sign name?
My name is Kelsey. My sign name is Kelsey.
When you came to watch the performance, was there one bit in it that really stood out for you? As an audience member?
Yes, when Nadim was signing, I forgot whose name, what's his name?
John.
John, yeah. When Nadim was signing John's song, it was it hit me because it was like, I didn't know that other people had felt the way that I felt. So in a way where I may never felt inclusive in certain situations like university or a conversation with a big group, and like I don't know that I'm not the only one, that other people feel the same, and the word that was being used was very powerful, and the way it was signed, it was very emotional because it was like, I've been through that, I've done that, and I know I'm not the only one. So like, it's a lot of people feel the same. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you, Kelsey. Medea, distraught, betrayed, thrown. An outsider on the outside left, looking in. A woman's scorn, wrath, her sin. What I like, you were a lot more relaxed when you were whispering it, which I liked. So you started moving around. Yeah. You know it better than you think. Have confidence. You know it much better. What you've written is great. Enjoy those words.
So this week we have been looking at the play Medea and looking at its themes and the story as well, and developing techniques and how to recreate that production through movement and facial expressions and as little amount of words as possible. What I love about this play, and I think it's a testament to plays that are used over and over again, is that they're always rooted in something very human.
A lot of the emotions we were exploring in the R&D week were that feeling of being an outsider, because the character of Medea was made to feel like an outsider by everyone, just because she was different and believed in different things to them. And how can you show that visually to an audience in loads of different ways?
Somebody, let me out! Let me out! This is ridiculous! Come on, let me out!
If you think about the idea of being an outsider, we can all relate to that, and it's all very understandable feeling and emotion and betrayal and passion. They're all things that we go, oh yeah, that happened to me.
Yeah,
and
I can relate.
And that's something that I think is so great about this play, is that it just seems so fitting.
I think the prep that was done for this R&D week was quite intense. I know that Sarah, which I think found very useful, she's been supported by Graeae. She shadowed DH Ensemble for a week, understood a lot of the techniques that can be used to make sure that the non-hearing people in the room feel included.
So I come round the curtain, in, and then I leave again. Yes. When he comes through the curtain, can it be like he's like meeting someone like down a dark alley? So he's escaped. He's gone round and he's just checking that he's not being followed.
My background is I was trained as an inclusive theatre practitioner, and I've worked with Angel Shed, who are based in Holloway, and I've worked with Graeae, and I've worked a little bit with Fingersmiths, and I feel very, very passionate about inclusive practice, and it's something that Graeae do beautifully as well. And one of the reasons that I wanted to do it with an integrated cast is that when I've gone out there for mainstream auditions, a lot of people claim that, you know, they're integrated and that they're being inclusive and they're being accessible to people. But you get there and they're not even got like yellow paper for people who are dyslexic, or there's no wheelchair ramp, there's not a signer there for someone who's deaf, you know. And I guess one of the reasons why I wanted to do integrated theatre was I just wanted to create another platform for people. And also as well, I wanted to learn, you know, new skills as well in being a director with an integrated cast, because that was something I'd never done before.
It's such a joy to see deaf actors in those leading, you know, part of an ensemble and leading the way, and being able to see how BSL is so easily embedded into what we do as theatre makers. And I think because it was so visual and so physical, that sort of it all lended itself to that. And I was just very impressed by how some of the ideas came together quite quickly to create a real narrative, even for that 20 minutes of the sharing. That was something that doesn't often happen after a week of R&D, to have something actually so polished, and there was a real enjoyment coming from the actors as well.
Well, Waterloo Medea especially requires you to really empathise. So that was the most empathetically intense experience I've ever had in this sphere of business, definitely, and that's. So in that case, it did teach me a lot, and as an experience in itself, not even considering it was theatrical, just in general, it was really, really important. And I never really devised a piece before, so it was in almost in every sense about creating the group and about communicating with the group.
Yes, I mean, so this end bit, I don't know how you're going to pronounce this, but it's Deus Ex Machina, which translates as God in the machine.
God in the machine.
Yeah.
God in the machine.
Which is an old.
Can you show them the words?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they've got this one.
There you go. You can all have a look, sort of thing.
English.
So also.
Possibly what people who don't work inclusively won't understand was to get that level of trust between those strangers who all had very different needs and brought different worries to the room or whatever, and to get that level of trust by Monday lunchtime is down to Sarah.
Am I right in thinking that you want William and Giorgio and Beth to work on the deaf children? Am I right in thinking that?
All I'm thinking is that William and Giorgio a very good clown partnership, which we should use, however you choose to use it, and whether possibly the goodbye, because the show ends with Medea going that way and Jason going that way, and no one getting executed or...
When you work with an inclusive company like Graeae or Fingersmiths or Definitely Theatre, they don't make you feel like a pain. They just want to support you in whatever way they can, and that's why their work is so important.
Deaf and disabled people have a right to be on stage, have a right to be using their first language, if that is BSL, have a right to be understood and seen, and be able to work alongside non-disabled artists as well and have that equal playing field.
The chance that's been given by the Arts Council to this artist to explore is very rare, and I think she's explored it with very high calibre artists, so therefore was being able to mine quite deeply and being inclusive. You need two signers in the room, you can't just have one deaf actor. You have to make sure there are more breaks because everyone's working 10 times harder, because if they're working within their own particular needs.
They've all ticked so many boxes. They're just amazing, and they're just a lovely team. You know, I think they're the perfect example of a good ensemble.
Yeah.
Because everyone has respect for each other, and everyone is respectful of the other person when they're performing, and I think that's really important.
Rather than complain about it, which there are plenty of disability activists doing that, is do something creative about it. And I think that's what you have to do as artists. You have to lead through your art, really. It's your strongest weapon.
Hate is a bottomless cup. I will pour and pour. Hate is a bottomless cup. I will pour and pour. Hate is a bottomless cup. I will pour. Hate is a bottomless cup. I will pour. I will hate is a bottomless cup. I will pour. Hate is a bottomless cup. I will pour. Hate is a bottomless cup. I will 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 pour and pour. Death is the only water to wash away this dirt.